let's stay in the realm of crypto right now. This debate about where the classification is one that will continue regardless of what decisions are made. Let's say that if we were to talk as to what's likely to happen this year, what's the buzz that you're hearing? Because all these companies have to prepare for what's likely coming down the pipe.
It's a big question. There's two main ways that I can see it going forward. The first is that all of the annoyed people, all of the anger, all of the frustration, all of the companies who are picking up shop and moving to Europe or Latin America or Africa.
Europe being less regulated in environment?
More clear.
Okay.
More clear. That's what they want. That's the end game, right? Like it's entirely possible that Gensler and his colleagues at the SEC aren't interested in making them happy. They don't want the clarity because they don't want the work done here. It's important to note that one of the United States' biggest competitors, China, has banned crypto altogether. They have decided that it is not in the Chinese government's national interest to have crypto traded by their people. They just banned it.
It's interesting given the genesis of crypto as being not anarchist, but a little bit. Regulation was not your friend. That's part of the value. There's no central bank. So in a way, it's kind of ironic to be sitting on our hands waiting to see what the regulators are going to say.
Incredibly ironic. I always like to say that Bitcoin was the first fintech that was adopted by the retail investor first. And it slowly moved up the totem pole until it finally got institutional.
How important is it to have a regulatory regime here? I mean, are we losing out if everybody's going to Europe and these other markets? It may be good for the Gary Genslers of the world. How is it for the actual kind of economy, innovation, et cetera here?
Another fabulous question. I like to think that the so-called free market of competing currencies is good for every currency, including the US dollar. And that having assets that look a little bit like a currency, a little bit like a commodity, but also look a little bit like a security, and force stock exchanges to look at their belly button a little bit and figure out how they can improve their business, and force the Fed to look at its belly button a little bit and see how it can improve its business, is a net positive for an economy. That I like to think that competition makes everybody stronger. But there's definitely reason for concern, and I think that the Chinese government's decision to ban crypto, that these tax-supported governments are increasingly concerned about their ability to do business as usual in a world where paying taxes and doing other regulatory compliant actions is more of a choice. I think
capital's global.
Yeah.
Boundaryless. One of the natures of looking at your belly button or navel gazing is that it also implies that you're oblivious to what's going on around you. It can be a negative, right? So I want to return to that idea as to this broader ecosystem, especially where the economy is right now. So much has been politicized that how much is this a Democrat v. Republican debate versus a regulation, commodity versus securities debate?
It's interesting here because in the States especially, we have a long tradition of associating Democrats with progressives and associating Republicans with conservatives. To reframe that, associating Democrats with people that are open to new changes, new ideas, new ways of doing things, and
regulation.
And Republicans who are into what works now. They want to keep the good going. They're the conservative mentality. It's like, let's hold on to what works. And
but
I
small
think that
government versus big government too.
We're seeing that flip a little bit here,
okay.
right? So I think the Democrats, who are often associated with being progressive, are increasingly looking very against crypto. They're looking very against this innovation in a way that's, at first glance, I think maybe a little surprising to a party that likes to identify as being progressive. Is it because the little
guy is the one getting burned usually in these situations?
I am maybe speaking a little bit out of line here, but my guts,
sources tell you.
Yeah.
Right.
Sources say... my gut, I'll be honest, my gut here is that the tax thing, which is often a priority for Democrats, they're known, as the party of taxes in a lot of ways, is something that is concerning them. And I think that, the ability to opt into paying your taxes in crypto is a lot easier than the ability to opt into paying your taxes with the U.S. dollar. And I can only imagine that's concerning for a lot of the Democrats. Now, the Republicans, which are often, not always, but often associated with conservatives, with holding on to what's good and, protecting it are very into this technology. And I think that at very least, one of the reasons why I think the Republicans and a lot of traditional conservative voters are into crypto is because of their distrust of central banks.